to the Vote Podcast, y'all. I'm your boy Q. On the other side of the screen, got my boy Keith. Another week, another episode. Like, comment, subscribe, so you catch this vibe from the sideline to the headlines, man. Let's get into it, Keith. How's everything, bro?
Man, everything is going good. You know, we back at it. We on third episode.
Yeah, no.
We appreciating the support. Yeah, it's the third. It's the third one.
Yeah, I felt like it was the fourth, but go ahead.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support we've been getting. You know, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You know, so we definitely appreciate all the support and the love. More to come. You know, no Steeler gear today. You know,
shades on the day, bro.
I know I got the shades on. I'm feeling like Ocho right now.
Okay.
How about you, man? How was everything? How the weekend go?
Everything good, man. Everything good. Feel energized, ready to get into it. Was excited about this week. And we got some good topics, good content coming, man. So let's get into it, bro. What we got for him?
All right, man. First on the agenda, man, we got Russell Wilson. It breaks my heart. I mean, it's bittersweet. I'm happy and I'm sad a little bit because I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. But Russell Wilson is signed with the Giants. How I feel about that move, I like the move. I like it for the Giants. It's going to be very interesting in the draft. You know, I don't see the Giants taking a quarterback. I don't. They didn't sign Russell. They didn't they signed James.
Yeah, they did.
You know,
they signed him to a 2-year deal.
Yeah, so I really feel like they approaching this. We're going to, because the Giants got the third pick, I think. So it's already solidified. Cam will go number 1. So the draft really started at 2. Cam will gonna go at 1. You know, the Giants, I really think they're going to do one or two things, because one of these two players will be available. They're going to get Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter. You know, and as deep as next year's draft is for quarterback, I really feel like, hey, if we have another bad year, guess what? We'll just draft our quarterback next year. Or if Russell start cooking again, you know, Mr. Unlimited, you know, then guess what? We re-sign Russ and we just keep on building, you know. So, because I think Russ got a good, I think he got maybe a good 3 years left. You know, he can have a good solid 3 years. James is a good backup, you know. I don't care what nobody say. Yes, he does throw the interceptions. He's a good backup. Overall, I do like the move, Russell to the Giants. I do. I like the move.
Okay. All right. So that's my take on it. It makes me wonder, right, to where as though if the Giants do draft Shador, is this more of like a veteran nature for Shador to sit out, right? Get that veteran presence. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be ready if he was to go to any other team, but I just think it's more so to help him for his success, set him up for the future. Because I feel like if they go with Shador,
he's not starting this year if they draft him.
100%. I agree with that. I think it would be more of a developing phase for him. So, for instance, more of like what the Falcons did with Penix, right? Kirk Cousins and Penix. I see it being something like that, to where though he got 2 veteran quarterbacks, bro. And Jameson, even though he turns the ball over a lot, he do a lot of good things outside of turning the ball over. I know that's a big reach, but he does great things. He can win some games. You feel what I'm saying? And it would be, and then if they don't take Shador, like how you might say they might go with a different pick, I wouldn't be surprised if they go wide receiver to give somebody on the other side of Malik Neighbors. Now you got somebody that can really give them the ball out there. That's what I'm saying. So, and then you can, that's like a wild card right there, because now you got somebody that can do both sides of the ball, right? So I wouldn't be surprised. I was very surprised that they did get Russ, even though they signed Jameson, because if they didn't sign Russ, I would have been like, okay, they still could sign Shador, and Shador could potentially still start, but now he got that veteran of Jameson to be able to push him along, give him the, you know, little insides of the NFL and go from there. So that's my take on the, but it is going to be very interesting with them doing that, because they might get frisky though, bro, because they might trade up a pick trade that pick or whatever.
With saying that, it is I can't think of the exact word I'm trying to say, but it is worth me saying. I also wanted to remain a Steeler up until he signed on the dotted line for the Giants. It is a fact.
He did say that.
You know, he really, Giants was not his first option. You know, yeah. So
he preferred to stay there.
Yeah, he wanted to stay with the Steelers. So
and And then I can see him why he would want to stay because DK Metcalf was over there now, former
Well, you know,
team.
bro, I've been saying this. I know this is not a topic, but I'm going to say it every episode till it happens. Shador, let's go. Fall right to the Steelers. Come on.
That's
what we fingers crossing, baby, that he fall right to us.
What we got next for him, bro, in the airlines?
And then next, we going to stay in the NFL. Stephon Diggs signs with the New England Patriots. He's back in the AFC East. He's coming for blood. That's how I look at it. He's coming for blood. I like the move for the Patriots. You got to give your young quarterback support. My only question is Stephon Diggs still that number one receiver? He had signed with the Texans last year. He didn't have a bad year. I mean, he tore his ACL, but he was if he had stayed healthy, and we're just hypothetically saying a bunch of what ifs again. If he'd have stayed on, if he'd have kept giving the production he was getting, I do believe he'd have got over 1,000 yards. He clearly was not the number one for the Texans. That was Nico Collins. It's safe to say he did take a step back. And then the Patriots are getting Stephon Diggs, who's coming off an ACL injury. We know how that injury can be to some superstars. So my only question is Diggs still that number one receiver? Patriots, again, they have the number 4 pick. I know we keep throwing Travis Hunter out there, but he ain't slipping past number 4. We know the Patriots are not going to get a quarterback. You get what I'm saying? Like, who would you draft that high at number 4? It wouldn't really surprise me if Travis Hunter is gone before the 4th pick. The Patriots may trade down. It wouldn't surprise me because would you say there's a lineman out there even worth taking with the number 4 pick? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
nah.
Like, you get what I'm saying? So we know they're not going quarterback. I mean, unless, hold up now, I just thought about this. They could get that boy Ashton Jeanty from Boise State.
Yeah.
I mean, they saying this guy's going to be a generational talent at running back, like on the levels of a Saquon. And the Patriots right now, I think that running back I think their starting running back is Stevenson. He's good, but if you draft that Ashton Jeanty, then I don't know, the Patriots, man, they could be trying to sneak up in the playoff contention. But it's very interesting, man. I just, I like Diggs to the Patriots. Like, once again, my questions are, is he still a number one receiver? And how does that shape up how the Patriots attack the draft now?
I do like it because they needed somebody, right? They needed a solidified person that they really don't have to question, all right? Only thing that you're going to question is how is he going to perform after that ACL injury, right?
Yes, sir.
I do feel as though it's for him to redeem himself in the AFC East because now they're going to see the Bills twice a year, right? So then it's able for him to make a statement to say, y'all should have just paid me, kept me there, so forth and so forth, right? But it also had me the question to go out there too, bro, is like the amount of money you think the injury impacted the amount of money that he was able to get? Because I feel like Diggs is a top guy, bro. Like I maybe like top 15, wide receiver.
What, receiver?
Yeah, like top 15. Like Diggs is
top. I'm gonna say top 20. Me personally,
top
I'm gonna
20?
say he's top 20 right now. I don't.
Okay, that's not a far reach. I could agree. Top 15, top 20, right? But I feel like if he had an ACL, he would have got a bigger bag because he had 6 or 7 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons before last year. So I think he got it in him. He probably could have hit the 1,000 mark last year. I'm not sure where he was at by game 8, and then who's to say that the Texans could have got far in the playoffs if they had Diggs, right? To kind of throw some matchups off with Nico Collins and what I think Tank got injured that last game too. I think he got injured that last game.
Yeah, Tank Dell, he got hurt not the last game, but like it was definitely towards the end of the year.
Right. So he's one of those guys that you can't sleep on, bro. So I like it for the Patriots, and then I feel like they still got a lot of cap space left. So they might make some more, off-season moves or whatever the case may be. So I like it, man. I'm happy to see it. I'm happy for the quarterback, Drake May, out there to see what he's able to do with a top guy. Because now they got a solidified top guy that's been that guy. They can learn from him, bro. So I like it, man. So, moving forward, bro, what we got for him next, man? We talking about
right now we're going to stir into college. Deion Sanders signed a new contract with Colorado, putting him, the value of his contract, it makes him top 10 most paid coaches in college. I think he's right above Bill Belichick. I think Belichick is 9. I mean, I think Belichick is 10, and I do believe Deion Sanders is 9. I could be wrong, but but he's top 10 for sure. All that tells me is Deion ain't going to nobody's league. We can kill that theory or that rumor. If he does go, it'll be after all this is up. He ain't going there no time soon. Deion Sanders, this would be a hot one. Deion's gonna win a national title with Colorado. Before he's done, I think he will win a national title with Colorado. The proof is in the pudding, man. He is starting to get the recruits now. He's starting to get them now. That quarterback that's going to take over for after Shador, I can't remember his name. Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna get better with these names. I will. I'm gonna get better with the names. He's going to be good. Deion already has 2 quarterbacks solidified to take his program over within the next 4 years. He already has 2 quarterbacks right now that's ready, that he know, okay, I know I'm going with this guy this year. Next year it's going to be your turn. He already has the quarterbacks there. He's getting the linemen. Just think about this, yo. Who would have thought before Deion got there that Colorado potentially could have 2 players going in the top 5? Nobody would have thought of this.
Yeah.
Like, they got 2 players potentially going in the top 5. It speaks for itself. Prime time. This man does not lose. He knows how to win. I'm here today. I'm calling it. He's going to win a national title before his term is up in Colorado. I'm telling you. How you feeling, man?
That's a hot take right there. It just goes back to my point where before we started the podcast, bro, Jerry Jones, they might get Deion over to the league. I'm like, bro, that nigga ain't going nowhere, bro. He got too much invested over there. And he always talked about it in general. He don't want to croak grown men because he feel like they love that too. And he feel like the love of the sport, it diminishes at that point because some of them don't want to practice and all this other stuff. And it's like, you talking to or trying to coach a grown man. At that point, it's like, why do I even have to coach you or tell you how to be a professional, those type of things, right? But go back to the contract situation. I just feel as though, man, it's a beautiful thing for him as a coach. And it just says a lot about Colorado and the AD over there, how they got a lot of faith in him and what it is that he's doing, being able to change the program in the 2 years that he's been there. So for me, I'm just looking forward to see how this thing turn out year after year after year. Because if you think about it, bro, if they didn't lose to Kansas this year, they would have basically walked their way.
They get in the playoffs.
The conference, the playoffs and the conference, it was the conference championship. The Big 10, Big 12, one of the two. Can't remember off the top of my head. I think the Big 10. Might be one of the two, but fact check me on that in the comments, y'all. But yeah, bro, like they was like a game away. You know what I'm saying? So it just speaks a lot of value. And they're going to make the bowl games. They're going to keep getting to the bowl game. Now it's just a matter of getting to the big bowl game, like the Sugar Bowls, the Orange Bowls, the Chick-fil-A Bowls, all the big bowls. And just cement his name, Colorado's history, because they already got 2 boys over there that's great. Put their names in the history books over there. Well, Shador already broke a couple of records over there. Everson did the same thing. Now it's time for him to do his thing. Win the big games. That's all it is, man. But I'm liking it.
I love it. I love it, man. Like I said, what I said, man. He's gonna bring a title on to Colorado before it's all said and done.
Yeah, and I keep saying it, bro. Like I said, Boulder, Colorado, we going down there. We gotta make our way down there.
Oh yeah, y'all look out for that, man. We may have an episode right down there coming live from Boulder.
Yeah, we might have to do that, bro. So that's the Deion take, man. What we got for him next, bro?
All right, man. Next, we're gonna segue to wrestling. We're going to go to WWE. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart. That match at WrestleMania 13. It will be the first match ever to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. That, for my wrestling fans, for the people that don't really follow wrestling, that match at one point in time was considered the greatest WrestleMania match ever. Me personally, I don't think that is the greatest WrestleMania match anymore. It was at one point. That match is so significant to wrestling history. That really kickstarted Stone Cold Steve Austin. Some may say Stone Cold saved the WWE from, I'm gonna give you a little history lesson. Back way back. Yeah, I was a kid. At WCW versus Monday Night Raw, they was going at the Monday Night Wars. WCW was giving it to WWE. A lot of people back then thought that he was gonna have to file bankruptcy. They was on the brink of losing And then what happened? Stone Cold Steve Austin happened. Stone Cold has said on multiple occasions, if it was not for that match with Bret Hart, you don't have Stone Cold. That match was so important to Stone Cold's career. You know, it was a good match with Bret Hart, but would I say that was as important in his career as it was for Stone Cold? Absolutely not. Bret Hart had already had some matches, some great matches on his belt, and even after he went on to still have some great moments. But Stone Cold, that was the start of Stone Cold. Oh man, I go back and rewatch that match sometimes. That, obviously I didn't watch it live, but that match meant a lot for wrestling history. I think it's well deserved to be the first match inducted into the Hall of Fame. What you thinking, Kid?
I mean, that's different, bro, because I didn't know. So you saying that is the first match to get inducted into the Hall of Fame?
Yes, they have recently started inducting matches to the Hall of Fame. Typically, it was only, it was the superstars, some celebrities. Right. They never did matches. This is the first match to be inducted.
I think that's good, bro, because what if other sports pick up on that?
You're right.
Super Bowls, college championships, because I feel like a lot of matches, sports-wise, where they should make that a category, inducting a match or
a game,
for the Hall of Fame. Because now I think that's dope, though, because if you think about it, Bret Hart is already, like you said, at that time has already solidified himself, and then Stone Cold is like the up-and-coming new.
Well, to put in, I don't mean to cut you off. Put in context.
No, go ahead.
Stone Cold, I wouldn't say he was up and coming because he had been in the business for some time. And as far as getting his big break and that finding the right gimmick for him, that was the start of that. But he had already had his feet wet, been in the business for some time, So, but just wanted to give you that.
That's good though. I think it's good for the sport, and then we'll see how things go from there.
Yes, sir. Next we're going to go to March Madness. Currently, as we're recording, there are some games actually going on now. But March Madness, who do we think is going to win for the men and women? Right now, when I last looked at the score, Duke was losing. But I'm going to still hold faith. I got Duke winning for the men. And, I'm not going to say this is a wild swing, but I'm going LSU for the women. I love their coach. I think LSU is going to win. I love their coach. You can call me biased. You can call me whatever you want. But I think LSU is going to win it all. I think Duke is going to win it all. Cooper Flag is the real deal. He is the real deal. The kid is only 18. I'm going to say it again. You know this. I'm bringing us some heat for you. He's going to go down as the greatest Duke player to come out of Duke. Yeah, I said it. He will go down as the greatest player to come out of Duke. Now, hear me out. From the Duke players who have went to the league. That's what I mean. Like, I feel like his trajectory in the league, he's going to go down as the greatest Duke player to come from Duke. I really do. I think so. Cooper Flag, he's that real deal. Okay. He is. He's the real deal.
I'm a little upset with your take right there. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Boy.
Give me. Yeah, you bugging. All right.
I'm bugging.
You bugging.
On Cooper Flag? I'm bugging.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna give you my take. I got Duke winning too. All right. There's no disagreement right there. I got Duke going. For the women, I got USC. All right. I got USC winning based upon, I feel like they came up with a dominant win over TCU. I believe it was TCU. Yeah, it was TCU for the women's. And I believe also, I just feel like they got like a chip on their shoulder now that they lost Juju, because prior to that, I had them winning without a doubt, without Juju.
Even with Juju.
Yeah, even with Juju.
Okay. Yeah,
without a doubt. Yeah. And then based upon how they came out and beat TCU this past weekend, was just like, that it almost like they didn't lose a stint. Yes, granted, it might have been because it was TCU, right? That's another argument, right? But I feel like they got that chip on their shoulder, and them losing their players, it's almost like adding fuel to the fire, if that makes sense, right? And it's still some good teams that's out there within the women's. Like I believe South Carolina is still there. I believe South Carolina. I think it was South Carolina. Did South Carolina? I think South Carolina just played.
They did. South Carolina just they lost.
They lost to NC State, right?
Yep. Yeah, South Carolina. Yep, they just played. They lost. They lost to.
I believe it was NC State. Double check me on that. But I think they still got some good teams in the women's side.
Oh yeah, they do. Now, personally, I'm kind of like you. I
think UConn is think UConn is still in, I believe.
And you
Because
talking
I
about,
think it's
the women's, right?
Friday women. I'm talking about women right now. I believe
I
they
had
still.
USC. I'm like you. I had them winning before the Juju injury. I just think down there in the stretch, when you really need them, I think that's when they gonna miss Juju.
That's fair. That's fair. But we're gonna make that's my take on the women. I got USC and I got Duke. And then, bro, I ain't gonna lie, you should have seen my face. It was a wild take. You said Cooper Flair is gonna be the best player come out of Duke. That's
Like
bro.
when it's all said and done,
You're reaching, bro.
When that white chocolate get into that league, I think that kid.
Tripping. Listen, bro. That means you saying he's gonna have to do better than people such as like Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I mean Kyrie. Let's put a little context with me. He only played 8 games with Duke.
That doesn't matter. You saying come out of Duke. So you gotta be very intentional on how it is that you phrase what it is you phrasing.
I still believe that, and I'm gonna stand on it. I'm gonna stand on the cliff. Kyrie is good, but okay, right now, who would you say is the greatest player out of Duke? Like, I mean, right now. Now I understand, because I know that was kind of like on the spot. I wouldn't even say Kyrie is the best out of Duke. Well, he's definitely not. I honestly, if I had to rank him, I'm definitely putting Tatum over Kyrie.
Tatum?
Yeah, for far as like I'm just talking about Duke players, ranking them in the league, I would put Tatum over Kyrie. Yeah, I would.
Duke got a lot of.
That's what I'm saying. They got a lot of talent. Like I said, that may be something we have, we can discuss on another episode or maybe like a short. But yeah, Duke has a lot of NBA talent. So that, Yeah,
we're going to I'm going to have to do some digging on that one, because the greatest of all time, I don't know, bro, because you got some players, bro. You got like JJ, you got Grant Hill, you got
JJ's up there too.
Yeah, he's definitely
JJ up there too.
Obviously you got like you said, Jason.
What, Zion, right? Didn't Zion go to Duke?
Zion, but he.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him up there. Yeah, I wouldn't.
He'll go that far. Okay. Yeah, we probably use say that one, but you reaching with that one, bro. I gotta see how he get to the league before we talk about
well, look, he's the number one pick for sure. He's going number one. Oh, he's going number one. It ain't a doubt about that. He's going number one in the draft.
That's we could make that argument, but you're talking about the greatest Duke player of all time, bro. Pump the brakes.
When it's all said and done.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I think that white chocolate. Yeah, I think that kid,
Yo, we gonna see. What we got next in the hot headlines, bro?
All right, man. Right now, we got a topic. We're going to go somewhat high school. That'll be a little different. Kiyan Anthony, for those that don't, okay. First, Kiyan Anthony gets snubbed from being a McDonald's All-American. For any viewers that don't know Kiyan Anthony, he is the son of Carmelo Anthony, and his mother is the actor. What's her real name? Lala, but I can't think of her real name. But Lala, she played on various shows, Power, movie shows, everything. But I seen it. Initially, I seen Carmelo and Dwayne Wade. They had discussed a little bit on their podcast. Kiyan Anthony is ranked the number 1 player in New York. I don't know if anyone realized that. He's a top 30 player, but I've seen Les get selected for McDonald's All-American.
Bro,
I'm not gonna go into detail about it, but some people probably already know what I'm alluding to, or have their own theory or takes on that.
I'm about to get into it.
Like I've seen less talent get an All-American for McDonald's selection. Kiyan Anthony, he is definitely one of, if not the best prospect. I seen Carmelo say something where he is facing a lot of I don't want to say he's facing a lot of, but he's getting some unnecessary hate or side eyes due to who his father is. And like Carmelo said, he said it once again on that podcast. Y'all can go back and watch it. Carmelo even said it himself. He didn't have to deal with that. Because obviously, Melo's father wasn't Melo. See, Kiyan, you got to deal with some stuff that even your own father didn't have to deal with due to who your father is. It's a crazy world we live in. It's a crazy world we live in that the son is, that's crazy. But It's theories like, oh, he scores too much. What? We in basketball? Like what? We in basketball? Like what? Ain't you supposed to score?
Right.
Like what? And something that Kiyan is doing that Melo, well, at least to me, he doesn't do. Kion's pretty good on defense. He's pretty good on defense too. So it ain't like he's one of those scorers. He gonna score and he's gonna take the when he get on defensive end, he's gonna take off and no, he ain't doing that. Recently he just won. Just seeing it too. He just won Player of the game. He won the MVP. I cannot think of the name of the event. Q, when you start talking, I'm actually gonna look that up because it was literally in the past 2 days. Like the kids, the real deal.
Was it his I think it's his championship.
Yeah, his championship.
His high school game.
It definitely was a championship. I just don't know if it was for the high school or for like a club team. But I'm gonna look that up and to get me right on that. But he definitely just won Player of the Game, MVP, everything. He got the crown. Like the kid's the real deal. About this is once again I've been going crazy with these takes. I think I may have had a little too much to drink. My cup is empty. But he's probably gonna be better than his father. He's probably gonna be better than his father.
Bro.
Yeah, he's probably gonna be better than his father.
You becoming crazy,
Kiyan
bro.
Anthony, man. Listen, man.
My God.
He's probably gonna be better than his father. He's more than likely because he's already committed to Syracuse, so we already know where he's going. He's more than likely, man. This is just crazy. He's probably gonna be a top 5 pick in the draft when he comes out. Now, whether he be one and done, stay all the years, we don't know yet. Only the future can tell. But I'm just basing this off of if he keeps rising and doing the things that he is consistently doing. This kid has done nothing but show he's gotten better. Yes, he missed the game due to injury. But the kid has done nothing but elevate, man. He's the number 1 player in New York. Like, New York got some ballers down there, man. You the number 1 player and you a top 30 player at that.
I got one for you.
So, but that's my take on it. Did he get snubbed? Yes, he did. Yes, he did. We all know he did. For what reason? Politics.
Yeah.
What you think?
Listen, bro, that's what I got. So, did he get snubbed? Yes. Right, I'm in agreement with that. Granted, he's the number 1 player of the year. And not of the year, the number 1 player
in New York.
New York. And it's crazy, bro. So I hate the hypotheticals, right? Or the what if situations. I don't really like to do too much what ifs, but I got one for you. I did some research, and based off of 24/7 Sports, which is a CBS sports website where they do high school recruits, their draft ranking within the country and in their state. You know what I found out, bro? I did Bronny. Right, because his father was in the league, and they always generate more publicity than most of the top recruits in the country.
Agree.
So when I did the research, Bronny was ranked 7th in the state of California when he was a senior. Then I looked at the people that was ranked above him. So I don't know if you know Jordan McCain. He plays for the Wizards now.
Yeah, I know.
He was the number 1 player coming out of California. So what I say all that to say is, and I think Jordan McCain went to Duke, by the way, too.
He did.
And I say all that to say is Bronny was ranked 7 based off this website. Every website is ranked differently. I'm just speaking specifically off of this website. Bronny was ranked 7 and got into the McDonald All-American game, right? And we say, like how you said at the end, you think it's politics. I only think he got in there because of who his dad is.
Once again, politics.
That's what I'm saying, right? Me personally, now I got one for you, bro. We ready to play a little curveball, right? Real curveball. If you had to pick who is the better player, and before I get into the scenario, I don't like doing this comparison because they came out of high school at different years. So the talent that Bronny was playing in 2023 is different than the talent that Kiyan is playing in 2024, 2025. So I get all of that.
I think I already know what you're going to ask, man. I already know my answer.
But to say all that to say is, who do you think was better in high school, Bronny or Kai?
I didn't know you was going to say who's better in high school. I thought you was just going to ask me, like, who do I think is the better player? In high school,
you could do either one. You could do both.
I mean, in high school, I gotta say Kiyan.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to, almost definitely. I'm gonna have to say Kiyan. And see,
okay,
because I know a lot of people looking at Bronny now, and which he is starting to ball now. That boy balling. But Bronny was tough in high school, man. It wasn't like he was a slouch. He was tough. But I'm ultimately though, I'm gonna have to say Kiyan.
Okay, and I agree with that because it's been some people, some headlines, and even myself. Some people say that Bronny wasn't the best on his team when he was at Sierra.
Sierra. He wasn't. He wasn't.
You feel me? So they were saying he wasn't even the best on the team. So you ain't even the best on the team, and you slid in there.
Bro, we know how this go, man. When you carry that name, the cameras and spotlight, it's automatically gonna be on you. So, teams looking at Bronny like, yeah, we need some of that. We gotta get, we need some of that shine on our programs.
And then the crazy part is this. I think I'm gonna say this for the next headlines. I think I know what the next one is that you Gray say, but it just goes back to say, bro, like he really. I feel like most of his highlights or his play.
Who we talking about? Who?
Bronny.
Okay.
Like his highlights in his play is from high school or like.
Well, you gotta realize though, bro. He didn't really play in college.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like he didn't really play.
At.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm getting at. He really didn't play. So like he didn't really have nothing to show for. He just had the name and he had a little bit of play. You feel me? With the Kiyan situation, I feel as though he got the name and the play. But I'm curious to see how he holds that up when he get to Syracuse. I feel like he still will. And I just hopefully, he gets offered that playing time. Granted, I don't think Bronny got offered the playing time. But we'll see how that play out. Because I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be tuned in next year.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I mean, Bronny, he, once again, we can't skip over, the man, his heart stop.
Right. Granted, I agree with
we
that.
Can't skip over that.
I'm not even going to speak on that because that's definitely.
You know what I mean? I'm not speaking on it, but, if we want to go around the course, like, let's say it never happened. Bronny more than likely would have got his time. You know what I mean? Where he was at. But, things happen, and now he's with the Lakers. And sure enough, he's coming into his own.
But yeah, that's my take on that one, bro. So what we got next for in the headline?
All right, man.
What we got?
Next thing we got. Hold on, I'm looking at it. Well, yeah, it'll be our last topic, man. I saved the best for last. Stephen A. versus LeBron, the King, the GOAT, James. This topic right here, man. This is really, it's funny.
It had the media in the chokehold.
It had the media in the chokehold, man. Just to give some context, Stephen A. I'm just gonna give context and I'm giving my feelings. Stephen A. was on First Take. It was an episode. I'm pretty sure y'all can go out there and YouTube it or see it on the internet. He gave a take and. And like LeBron said on the Pat McAfee show, he doesn't care about criticizing the sport or the play. But once you start getting personal, and I'm sorry, man, all fathers, I feel like all fathers will feel like this. We're going to protect our family, our kids at all costs. It comes with the territory, And once you start saying, like, as a father, I mean, because honestly, you attacking this man, parenting, per se. From Stephen A. aspect, yes, your son's in the league. Yes, he needs to know how to handle this. But my thing is, once you stated, like I keep saying these words, because once you say as a father, you have now went into the realm. You have now went into the personal realm. It is no longer about the sport. You're attacking this man as a father, not as a player. And then Stephen A. goes on the rant where he said, LeBron's really mad because he's not my GOAT. Come on, man. Really? Really, Stephen A. Like, really, you didn't went and took. So they gonna make this thing about Jordan and LeBron one way or another. It went from LeBron going at Stephen A. over for Bronny or the family, or as LeBron said, he had to protect his family, and even some of the players in the league. So it goes from that to now you're trying to say he's really attacking you because you don't think he's a GOAT. I'm not even going on them can of worms. That's a whole nother thing. We'll be here another hour. But it's just crazy. Like I said, it started on First Take. Then LeBron, they seen him at the Lakers. He's saying Stephen A. at the Lakers game, and he said something to him. Then Stephen A. responded to that on First Take. Then it goes.
Okay, hold on. Before you get into that, do you think LeBron was wrong for approaching Stephen A. when he did courtside? Or he could have handled it differently?
No, sir.
So Stephen A. was bound to catch it on sight. He was supposed to get that.
And by any means, I don't think LeBron ever was going to take it to the point of throwing fists. I'm not saying that. But man to man, I had to see you. Ain't no telling when the next time I would have seen you. Yeah, he had. Yeah, I don't think LeBron was wrong. I think he did that right. He didn't do it disrespectfully. So as far as we know, he approached him as a man. Then Stephen A. He responded to that. Then LeBron goes on the Pat McAfee show and gives his another spill, and then Stephen A. responds to that twice. He responded on his own show, then he even goes to First Take and respond. He has went even as far as to call LeBron a liar. He called him a liar on.
Okay, so let me ask you something else, right? So one of the takes on that situation was Stephen A. said that Bronny James should have did his rookie season in the G League. Do you agree with that statement? Not a two-way contract.
I am up in the air with that because, okay, you want me to do my rookie year in the G League, and what does that do? I can bounce back and forth. I can go to the G League, to the Lakers, however they see fit forth. I'm just saying, what does that do? I feel like a rookie in the G League would not have done anything differently than what's currently going on now. The only difference of what it did was we would not have seen Bronny on the court with the Lakers this year. That's the only difference I really see. Like, Bronny's getting better. And once again, I just said it not too long ago. We just can't sleep over the fact that this man heart stopped. Like, he got it, that man, that's a mental thing. That is a getting to know your body all over thing. There's some things that he probably was dealing with that we can only imagine. He's getting better. The kid is going to be good. Will I say he'll be as great as his father? Ooh, boy, that's
like reaching for the stars.
That's a hell of a hill to climb. I'm not even gonna say that right now.
We ain't even gonna get there. We ain't even ready to do that.
But Bronny's gonna be good. I give Bronny. I think right now, from where I see his trajectory in the league, he'll be a player that could average 15, 20 points a game.
Okay.
I see that within his future. Do I think he will be able to stay with the Lakers his whole career? I don't think that's gonna happen.
Right.
Like, I could see Bronny with another team, and then in the future, just as the years go on. But Stephen A. But who do I side with? Y'all know who I'm siding with. I'm siding with LeGoat. I'm siding with King James. King James. All fathers should be siding with King James, cause he didn't do nothing wrong. As a father, if a man come at your son, even if it's about his job, it's just the father's natural instinct. We gonna protect our family. It's a father's natural instinct. That's just what's gonna happen. Eventually, Bronny will come to a point where, though, I seen Steven Jackson that said, LeBron has to eventually let his son fight his own battles. Man, shut that shit up. Because if as a father, you're gonna help your son till the day you die. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. You can't tell a man how to protect his family or what he feel. Yeah, you can't. LeBron, that's just fathers, man. Well, at least real fathers, I feel like. You're going to protect your son to the day you go 6 feet under, man. But LeBron wasn't wrong. Stephen A. Did you see the video LeBron posted of Stephen A?
Oh, with the boxing?
Man, now Stephen A says, he was dealing with King James.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You ready? All right. So this my angle, right? This might be a hot take right here, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. This might be a hot take. Here you go. So when it comes to the situation, right? I'm gonna play a little bit of devil's advocate, and I get the whole perspective of the father, LeBron defending his father, and things of that nature. But I look at it from this lens too, right? With like how you mentioned Steven Jackson has said, Bronny got to fight his own battles and this, that, and the third, right? Well, I don't think we're going to see that at this stage of Bronny's career because his father has been doing most of the talking for him anyway, right? So for him to come out and defend himself, and we probably won't see that while LeBron is in the league. We probably won't see it ever because LeBron probably going to do that regardless because that's his son. And he's going to defend his son, which if he feel like that is needed in that situation at that given time, he's going to do that, right? And I'm not arguing that, right? But my thing is with the whole situation, outside of Stephen A saying as a father, where now we're not speaking about the actual game of it itself, now we're speaking about me fathering. Outside of that aspect, because I don't agree with that, because at that point, you're talking about as a father. Now you're speaking about me and my character as how I raise or do for my kids. Now that's like you're attacking me as a person. And what it is that you're saying, everything goes out the window after that, because now I'm not going to interpret it how it is that you think it needs to be interpreted, right? So now I cleared that out. I don't really see nothing wrong with what Stephen A said outside of the as a father thing, attacking him as a father, because some of the things Stephen A was saying pertaining to Bronny, I think it was, him and his journalism, or him doing his duties, speaking on the topic at the time, right? Because I feel like he did speak a little prematurely, because after that conversation, whatever, I think Bronny, I think that's when he had that 17-point game. I think that's when he scored like a career high in the G League. So he was doing these things that Stephen A was saying that he wasn't doing so well. But it also goes down to, and I get it, as an athlete, some of these takes that these reporters be making, it could be a little personal, but they just taking it for what they see. And some people take it a little personal, which I get, I understand, because we all have feelings, and I'm not knocking that. But at the end of the day, bro just speaking on his job. And I just think he got it more. Stephen A get more backlash than any other reporter, journalist out there, because he don't hold his tongue, bro. He call it for how he see it, because that's just who he is. And then one thing I like or appreciate Stephen A, when he take his take, bro, he say what he mean and mean what he say. Granted, he did say some stuff, and he eventually apologized later about the whole Kobe thing, right?
Once
and
again,
I get
getting
that.
personal.
Yeah, I agree. Certain things you shouldn't say. On the grand scheme of things, I see it from both angles, personally. I see it from both angles. I see what Stephen A is saying, and I see what LeBron is saying. At the end of the, you know what I'm saying? So I see where they coming from, so I can't really say I'm here to choose sides, because Stephen A did cross some lines, but he was also doing his job. Might have not did it the right way, and he just got approached by it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. That's how I'm gonna take that take. But LeBron did what he's supposed to do at the end of the day. But and then Stephen A, when he was talking about, he could have approached me to the side. Hell no. You put your shit on the air.
Why approach to the side? You said
You put that shit on the air.
Exactly.
I will confront you out in the air. So he think Steve, I don't think LeBron did anything wrong with that, but I see it from both angles, and I'm going to stand up here in front of the people. I see it from both angles. Stephen A was wrong for what he was saying. LeBron was right for what he was doing, but I also see why Stephen A said it, because it's a part of his job. He's going to continue to do as a part of his job.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
being in the media, when
tough, bro.
You talking about people, or just talking about the sport or whatever you say, man, you just gotta stand on it. Because somebody's gonna approach you on whatever, if you're big enough in the media world, somebody's gonna approach you about one of your takes, regardless if it's right, wrong, and you just gotta stand on whatever you're saying. That's all it is.
And he did defend himself.
Well, I'm not talking about Stephen A necessarily. I'm just saying.
I'm talking about Stephen A. He said he defended himself, and he wasn't saying it as in like you as a father. Like, he articulated and explained like what he was trying to say, but it just wasn't received in the way he was trying to say it. But that's my take on the tape. You got anything last to say you want to say to the people?
Man, do I got anything I want to say? No.
Anything, bro. It ain't gotta be about.
No, I mean, I ain't necessarily got nothing to say. Nightcap. For those that don't know what Nightcap is, that's Shannon Sharp and Chad Ochocinco. They're actually coming to our town the June 13th. We gonna be there.
A lot.
We gonna be there. We gonna make a vlog out of it. We gonna be there. So
a lot.
We'll just see how some things going, man. We just got big things in store for the future. Like I said, I said at the beginning, man. Just thank y'all for the support. We do appreciate it. It doesn't go unnoticed, So, but yeah, we gonna keep it going, man. We here.
Keep commenting. Keep commenting. We gonna comment back. But hey, man, like we always say, man, like, comment, subscribe. You here to catch a vibe from the sideline to the headlines. Peace.